Hey everyone, and welcome to the penultimate place to get your movie and TV news and reviews. This is episode 63 of the Cross Media Show, and today's topic is our review of episode 2 of HBO's The Last of Us. But before we get into our discussion, if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, feel free to give us a good rating on that platform. It helps with the algorithms and helps us grow our audience. If you're watching on YouTube, consider dropping a like and a sub, and please do not forget to hit the bell to get notifications for all of our shows, like the Penultimate Game Show, the Marvel Mondays Initiative, and Anime Nation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruben, the director of this channel, and of course, I am joined by one of our residential JRPG gurus, Lane Freeland. Lane, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Good? All right,
Good,
cool.
good.
The master of all things anime and manga, Ryan Smith. Ryan, how's it going? Ryan, you are muted.
Doing good. Excited to talk some of that Last of Us.
All right, sweet. And of course, our guest for today, the duo that is hopefully awesome, Matt and Maggie. Matt and Maggie, how are we doing today?
Hey, doing awesome.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully awesome, if we're being honest.
Okay, all right, cool. Let's get into some housekeeping before we get into the show. This week on the Penultimate Game Show, we were supposed to be going over the games we're excited for this year. We have scrapped that, and now we are just going to go straight into the fantasy draft. And I believe this is going to be happening the day of... the day before the Xbox and Bethesda game show. So,
What day is the game show?
25th, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes. So, we'll see how that goes.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And as always, please feel free to leave your thoughts and questions on our SpeakPipe at speakpipe.com/penultimateconquest. Let's go straight into initial thoughts, guys. I'm Lane and Ryan, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask our guests what they think of The Last of Us so far, because they have not played the games.
It's true.
Oh my
What?
god.
We're going in, as Madonna would say, like a virgin. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay, so let's start
You can
off.
expect a lot more of those.
That's totally fine. Maggie, let's start with you. What are your thoughts so far of The Last of Us?
I mean, I knew like some things, but not. It wasn't what I expected it to be.
Okay, all right.
I remember watching Walking Dead and being into it, and then I just stopped watching it after so
Right.
long. But it's really kept my attention so far.
Okay, all right. Who's your favorite character so far?
I really like Ellie,
All right, safe bet.
but
safe bet.
I also love Pedro Pascal's character,
Joel.
Joel, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Matt?
I mean, man, I've seen a lot of garbage in my days.
Oh, man.
But this is not that.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I loved it. No, I'm with Maggie. I think I watched a little bit more of The Walking Dead than she did. I got to that one season premiere where Negan was there, and then I was like, I'm
Man,
good.
you got really far then.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, after the whole Glenn thing, I was like,
And
what?
you want to know the funny thing? That isn't even as far as people think. There was still like 6 more seasons after that.
Yeah. Some say
It
it's
turned
still
into
going.
Supernatural. It just went like 15 years, right?
Some say it's still going.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, obviously, this is very different from The Walking Dead. Tonally they're similar, but I think this show has just a bit more. I don't know if I would say hope, but it seems maybe a hair more optimistic, just a little. And I definitely enjoy the clickers. I think that's a lot cooler than just your average zombie. I'm a big fan of like monster stuff, so kind of leading into that a little bit. But no, the first episode was fantastic. That opening, I could have watched, a whole series of just that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I hadn't heard about the opening in the game. I guess it's pretty similar to what the show does. So when that character, when she dies, spoiler alert, I figured, but I just didn't expect it. For them to really be like, hey, this is your main character.
Yeah.
No, just kidding,
Yeah.
It really, I haven't felt like that good about a show at the opening of it since Lost.
Oh, I was
That
just
was
gonna
probably
say
the
it, Matt. I
Wow.
was just gonna
right,
say
right.
it. Yeah.
I mean, that first 20 minutes, where it's just balls to the wall, like it was awesome. So yeah, so far I'm definitely loving it for sure.
Okay. All right. Let's hope it's the next Lost, but good ending this time.
How dare you, sir? We'll get into that.
What little I know about the Lost ending, it'll be better than
Listen.
the Lost.
Matt, I liked the Lost ending, but a lot of people didn't.
Wait a
A
second.
lot of people can be wrong though. Like that's the thing.
You're absolutely right. It could be wrong.
I get it, man. They all just wanted to hang out in purgatory or something. I don't
yeah.
know. They were like, "Hey, buddy, we'll all die and we'll just meet up one day." And
Yeah,
hey, who can blame them, right?
Yeah, exactly. With that being said, Ryan, what did you think of episode 2?
I thought episode 2 was just grabbing the football and running with it still. It's just what I expected from it. It's interesting. The stuff they've added is interesting. I really think overall a fantastic episode. Keeps me interested, and I'm excited to see where it goes next week.
Okay, all right. Lane?
Yeah, no, I loved episode 2. It still is not disappointing me like whatsoever from what I know about the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I love how like this is almost even more suspenseful than at some points are than the game, which I didn't think they were going to be able to. Didn't think they'd be able to top that.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but I thought this Lost was way better, Episode 2 of Lost was way better. I'm just going to say it here. No, I'm
I
kidding.
mean, I'm with you.
I remember the episode 2 of Lost.
Episode 2, if I remember correctly, that's where the pregnant woman starts a bond with that guy who's in everything.
Talking about Charlie?
Yeah,
Claire and Charlie?
Yeah, there you go, Claire and Charlie.
Charlie the baby, Charlie.
Yeah. I could just be completely wrong, but I'm pretty
You're
sure.
probably right. Yeah, because it's the empty jar of peanut butter.
There you
I
go.
think.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Look at
yeah.
that.
God, Lost was the show I watched.
What a great show. What a great show. But we're not here to talk about Lost.
No, we're not.
The Last of Us
Are you sure?
episode 2 was probably I have a feeling they're going to start off each episode with like not a flashback but like what happened previously, and I'm quite okay with that because it's a good refreshing take on what TV shows like this have done. Like we talk about The Walking Dead and how again some people say it's still going and there's no end in sight, and
It ended this year.
shh, Ryan, there's no end in sight. It's okay. There's no end in sight.
But there's all the spin-offs too,
Yeah,
every-
like who
Yeah,
knows
the
if
other
Rick
one
is
is
still
that.
out there and he's playing sheriff.
Daryl's in
I think Rick is
London or
still
some
getting-
shit. I
think
don't
Rick is
know.
still getting his movies.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is like Lost. Ooh, not Lost. Lost is a perfect show, but The Walking Dead screwed itself, in my opinion, in the first season with the first season ending as like, oh yeah, there is no cure. Like
Yeah.
they didn't paint themselves into a corner, obviously, with this game and this show, because there could potentially be a cure, and we'll hopefully be able to help millions of people that have turned into fungus people, and that's gross. And every time I see it on screen, I want to rip my skin off because it's so gross. But yeah, it was a good episode. Excited for more. I do like some of the changes that have happened already, from video game to TV show. But let's get into the plot before we continue. And if you need to stop me here, if you need to stop me, to talk about something, you let me know. 2 days before I was going to say before the pandemic, Jesus Christ. 2 days
no.
before the day of the outbreak in Jakarta, Indonesia, a mycologist learns of the oncoming pandemic and advises the government to bomb the city to prevent it from spreading. And I'm going to tell you right here, like I said, I feel like this was probably one of the best things in television I've seen.
Yeah, that opening was.
It was
oh my
fantastic.
God,
It
was
slapped hard.
incredible.
Just like again, I'm sorry to keep doing this, but The Walking Dead just like dropped the bomb on this. This is now turned into the Walking Dead shit podcast, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, you know, like I don't know, I just it gives us no hope to begin with, and then like I said already, like there's a possible hope in the future that Ellie is the cure, and we'll see what happens with that. In the present, Ellie explains to Joel and Tess that she is being transported west in hopes of being used to find a cure. Well, there you go. Look at that. I already walked right into that one. Discovering the path to their meetup to be swarmed with infected, they cut through a museum and are attacked by two blind infected called Clickers, one of whom bites Ellie before Joel and Tess kill them. And, this was one of the scenes where I was like, I felt like I was playing the video game, and it was really good. It was real tense, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. I liked it a lot.
So I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, Janet Garcia tweeted like this: the show has now made the canon way to play the game, where you try to go stealth, everything goes to shit, and then you're shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's how
what
you
I
always
would
do
do.
it.
Sure.
Yeah. Something happens, and like, I know for the first game on the PS3, Ellie is just fucking walking around like there's no tomorrow, as if there's no clickers around, and I'm like, get the fuck down! I don't want to die.
So, like, let me ask, as far as the game goes, is it like based on this show? Is it kind of just like a long escort mission? Like, is that what the game is?
I mean, honestly, without spoiling a whole lot, more or less, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in like the best way possible. It's
Gotcha.
not like it's not like I don't mean it's
You
like
play
annoying. Where,
Bioshock
like,
Infinite? It's a lot like Bioshock Infinite.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't play that either, but I
That's
get
a
you.
really good way to describe it, Ryan. Yes, it is exactly like
If it
Bioshock.
doesn't have
They came out
Mario
the
or
same-
Pikachu in it, I probably haven't played
It's
it.
like, okay, so let's put it that way.
think of it like
is
Pokemon Yellow, but very violent.
Yeah, exactly,
That-
exactly.
Does that put things into perspective?
Yes, it's with
More
guns.
more
and-
zombies. There's guns involved.
Exactly.
Pikachu kills some people.
Team Rocket is
You know?
trying to like bite you to become one of them.
Yeah.
And instead of them just like asking you, hey, you should really be part of Team Rocket, like they're just fully going in.
They make noises and they try to
Yeah,
kill.
yeah.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, you're selling me more and more
Yeah,
on
good,
Pokemon Yellow.
good.
All right.
Oh man. The trio arrives at the State House only to find Firefly slaughtered by another after one of the members was infected. Tess reveals she has been bitten while Ellie's bite begins to heal, proving her immunity. Which I feel like the way that they set this up, it almost felt like she got bit in the leg when she had said like, it's just like I rolled my ankle. I don't know.
No, I assume like that injury was like she was like, oh, I just rolled it, and then like, but she probably broke her foot or something, and then it's just like playing it off because she was like, oh, I don't want to weigh like Joel down.
Yeah.
And maybe that was to like throw people off of like, oh, she's gonna like you're gonna think like that's gonna be the problem, but actually it's like, oh no, she got bit. Like that's the actual problem.
Yeah.
Not her foot.
Let's see where we are. Joel shoots an infected, which alerts many others to their location, which I liked a lot. The fact that it's like a hive mind, and a good
Oh,
hive
that's
mind.
the one like they're like, oh, if you step on it here, like
Yeah.
you can alert
Yeah.
like them from like miles and miles away.
Exactly. It was
Terrifying.
terrifying, but also like takes one of those video game aspects where like you're slowly creeping up on a clicker, like you don't want to step on a piece of fungus.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It definitely adds to the tension for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, especially when they all, you know, that whole whatever was going on, that orgy or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. if it
Swarm?
was-
I mean, listen,
Swarm?
they were all just like laying there eating each other, man. Like, I don't, hey, do you know, whatever.
a
Like, love is love, but,
cannibalistic
like,
orgy.
you
That's
know?
what we're
Oh
going
my
with.
god.
And coughing.
But I mean, I thought that was a cool concept. I don't know, again, if that's in the game already or whatever, but you know, like obviously zombies and stuff, the horde has to be kind of activated with sound or
Yeah.
something. So just the idea that you could inadvertently do a tiny thing that you don't even think was anything, and then you know they're all know exactly where you are. Like,
Yeah.
kind of gives them a bit more intellect in a way, makes them feel a little bit smarter than zombies.
Yeah. Again, one last time, we're gonna bring in the Walking Dead zombies, where they're just like, man, they could just be roaming around for no reason. And
Yeah.
it just makes them smarter, and I like it.
Yeah.
It differentiates them from anything else we've seen.
I don't
on
know if
TV.
it makes them smarter. I think they're just feral. Like I think they're just feral creatures.
Right, but I mean, in the sense of like the Last of Us, like it makes them know where you are. You know,
Yeah.
if you
Like it's
step
a
on fungus.
smarter
Mhm.
take on that type of
Yeah.
monster.
Where I would go to zombie is that there's different types. You got your hoarders, your Walking Dead style, this big horde coming through the field kind of deal, and then you have the like 30 Days a Night style, real feral kind of zombies,
yeah.
which these are, where they will just run you through the kitchen and all that, like in episode 1.
Yeah.
Nah. I think that's the real difference for them.
Okay.
It's just how fast they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they look way cooler.
Oh, they look insane. The
Yeah.
prosthetics were
They're so nasty
insane.
in the best way.
Like I said,
Oh my God.
to make me want to just scratch off my skin. It's really gross. Tess convinces him to escape with Ellie while she stays behind to ignite an explosion, blowing up the building and killing herself along with the horde. And I had one problem with this episode. And that
Is it
was
what I think it is?
Tess, like, just letting her, just letting this guy French her with.
Jobbing on that
Yes.
clicker and just
Tendrils just
Getting all
coming
of
out.
it.
Yeah, like what? No, I would. First off, she threw gasoline or oil on the floor. All you needed to do, you didn't. If the fucking lighter wasn't working, just shoot.
did she have her gun though?
I'm sure she did. Why wouldn't she?
I mean, she probably would have given it to Joel if she's like, I'm gonna die. So here, take my gun.
But there were guns all over the floor.
I don't know, man.
Why didn't she pick up a grenade?
Exactly. Why? A
That's what
grenade
comes
would
through
have
my
made
mind. I
more
was like, why
sense.
didn't you pick up
Guys,
on
guys,
those?
listen, you're all missing the point here, okay? She knew she was gonna die. So like when you wanna get a little frisky, I mean
Oh
if you're
my
going out anyway. you
I
know?
mean, I
don't
just-
you wanna know what it feels like
She
to
wanted,
make
she
some
wanted to get a
mushroom?
little,
I don't
she
know
wanted
if
to
I
get a little
wanna-
tendril, you know.
I don't know. I feel like no.
She looked at that clicker and was like, "Hey, what them tendrils do?"
I mean, hey,
What was
why,
this
why
all
stop
about?
At, why stop at the mouth? You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy. But it does bring up an interesting question. The fact that they didn't notice her at first,
Yeah.
which means like Joel's the one that fired the gun. Do you think that there is more? I don't know how to ask this question. Do you think that's more to the infected than meets the eye? I guess.
I feel like part of it is either like they didn't notice because she's already infected, or like she wasn't really making a lot of noise.
yeah, but
Like when they were running past her, she wasn't like making a ton of noise, so they probably heard like the other clickers running and then like Joel and Ellie running. So they were probably running after like what was making the louder
okay,
noise,
all right, okay,
maybe. Because I mean they weren't predominantly all sound.
right.
But I mean, I could also see like, well, she's kind of infected, so maybe they just like can like sense her inner fungus. I don't know.
Except this
That's
one
the way
guy
I
is
kind of
like,
pick up was with that, like, and even kind of the look on her face when they kind of passed her, almost as if like she realized, oh, I'm already, like they already think I'm one of them, you know,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it was even worse, you know, like
right.
they don't even want to kill me, you know. That's the way I took it, but it could have just been sound or
They're like in
signs, you know.
24 hours, you're just another body to the swarm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's fair enough. Ooh, I there were some things in this episode. We see Joel and Ellie's relationship blossom a little bit here, where she starts asking him questions when Tess is trying to open the door from the other side. That I thought it was really really cool because it kind of, again, bringing the video game in here, it felt like that in the beginning of the game when I remembered playing it also that long ago, like 2013, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I did like the fact that they're going for it. It feels like the video game, but it also like is making itself.
Like they're putting the mechanics in, but like in a way that feels like that would make sense for a TV show to do.
Right.
Like the part where she's like, "Oh, give me a boost." Like that's a thing you have to do in the game quite a bit.
Yes, exactly. The I don't know how to swim, and Joel's like, "What? What are you swimming in? We're walking through this water."
That was awesome.
That was hilarious. And
That
then,
was really good.
That and the chicken sandwich line killed me.
yeah.
And she's like, "Can I have a gun?" And they're like, "No." She's like, "Fine, I'm just throw a chicken sandwich at him."
And honestly, those little bits I feel like is what kind of gives the show that optimism that I was talking about earlier. Like,
What?
whereas The Walking Dead is just so dire. Like, at least in this, even though like it's very serious and people are dying and all that stuff, like you still get to have a chuckle every once in a while. Like, I don't leave the show depressed that I watched the show.
Right.
So like I think that's kind of where this definitely makes it a little bit better than especially that crap Walking Dead. Am I right?
Exactly. It's
I feel
funny.
like this kind of hammers that point home. Like at the end when she's like, "All right, like we're not good people, but like if we have a chance at like making something better, you need to like go do this." Like it's not like, yeah, like you were saying, like The Walking Dead, it's just like, oh, doom and gloom, like, oh, we're just trying to survive.
Yep.
Whereas like Tess was like, "Hey, we have a chance to like fix this, so we should like do it. Like I don't want to just survive. We need to like fix this whole situation that we're going on."
Last week I had asked the question if we thought there was something going on between Tess and Joel, like something had been going on between Tess and Joel, and we get a little bit of an answer here when she is saying goodbye, and she's like, "I didn't ask you to feel how I'm feeling," or something like that. And I just like, okay, all right, there was something going on, but Joel was just too cut off,
Oh yeah.
And I get it, you lose the one part of the one thing in life where you love the most, even more than yourself, and it's kind of like hard to get around that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Last week, I asked a question. Well, I put up a poll last week. Do you think that the first episode of the HBO's Last of Us was successful in drawing normies to watch the show? And we got our answers. So much.
We're normies, so
Exactly. There you go.
Are we?
I mean, we didn't play the game. So, I mean,
Yeah, that was like the definition we gave people who haven't played the game. So much so that sales for The Last of Us Part 1 jumped 238% after the TV show launched
Holy crap,
in the
that's awesome.
UK, which is pretty incredible. Like, I am excited to see what will happen with the video game. Well, with the fans that have turned to the video games after watching the show, once a potential Last of Us Part 3 comes out, or like Last of Us Faction comes out, I just find it fascinating. We were all complaining, like, why the fuck did they make a Last of Us Part 1 remake again after they just made this like 5 years ago? They knew what the fuck they were doing. Yes, they absolutely knew what the fuck they were doing. And I'm glad.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask us?
I mean, honestly, I've been wondering. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but obviously this is a podcast about it, so obviously y'all feel free to say whatever you gotta say.
The
But
Walking Dead is not a good TV show.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. All right, case closed, everybody. But no, like I guess I didn't really watch Game of Thrones. But do you think that The Last of Us will get to a place where, like, it's so successful that they kind of have to go outside of the boundaries of the storytelling from the game? And if they did, would you all be okay with that? Like, if they just kind of had to make up their own stuff, like if they reach a certain point, you know.
I personally don't think that that would happen. Neil Druckmann is the director and creator, well, co-creator of the series, in the video game series. I
Yeah.
think he would like put a stop to it before it gets to that point, because like we saw what happened with Game of Thrones and how it ended and how everybody hated it, and that was because George R.R. Martin was like, you know what? Let's feed these fuckers a fake ending and let's see how it goes. I haven't finished the story yet. I want to see if this ending is going to be good. Let's see what happens.
Just
And
test
then
it
he
out.
decides never to finish it. He's like, never. It's just not worth it.
Exactly. I'll die before this fucking book series is done.
He probably will.
Yeah,
Like,
he probably
doesn't
will.
need to. I mean, you know, come
Yeah.
on.
So, I think Neil Druckmann and the people at Naughty Dog are smarter than letting HBO like fuck up
Yeah.
what could be.
Well,
a
let me ask this. I mean, if since they are involved, then I mean, if they were like if Neil Druckmann was able to actually like give input on what the story could turn to, like would that make it better? Does that make sense? I mean, I get what you're saying. Odds are they're probably
Yeah.
not going to do it at all.
Yeah.
But like
I'm-
if they're like, hey, this is making us $1 billion. Let's let's not kill the cow just yet. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Can
they're
we maybe
more-
do like a Last of Us 2007? Like what was going on in 2007? You know, let's figure
Nope.
that out. You know,
That would actually be pretty interesting if they did like a sequel. But I feel like they're just like, hey, we're just here to adapt like what we've already made, and like that's all they want to do. Which I
Yeah.
feel like that's all they need to do. Like you don't really need to add a whole lot of stuff.
That's
Like
true.
I mean, you could maybe add like they added a little more like scenes with like Sarah at the beginning, and like they've added a few scenes just to give more context and backstory for characters, which is great. Like they haven't added anything that or changed anything that I was like, man, this is like so drastic and it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, they have enough story for like, I mean, at the bare minimum, like 2, but probably I'd say 3 seasons.
right on.
So like, with how long a production and stuff takes, they could drag those 3 seasons out for a bit.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they need to like, all right, let's pump out like 10 seasons of this and just make it up. Just make it up as we go.
Just make it supernatural.
Oh,
Turns
geez,
out
no, let's
Daryl
not do
was here
that.
the whole time.
Oh, no.
What? Oh, hey, Joel. My name's Rick Grimes. Nice to meet you.
The ending of the show is just gonna be like the first scene, like when Sarah wakes up in the middle of the night, she's like, "Oh man, that was a bad dream," and then
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show, like, I know.
Pull out, and it should be somebody playing the game, and it's Crash Bandicoot. Is actually just
Exactly.
playing.
Well, I don't know.
A guy in the Crash Bandicoot mascot suit.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
don't know.
yeah, there we
I
go.
don't know
And that
if
old,
I like
the
this
old
hate.
PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I know
but
who you're talking about.
yeah, it's like we need you, gamer, or whatever.
Oh,
like,
that fake president.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like them two, they're just playing multiplayer. Together.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. That'd be real perfect. I like that a lot.
Cash the check,
Yeah,
HBO.
exactly. Ryan, what do you think? Do you think that they would continue a story that isn't there?
I think that we could definitely see stories of The Last of Us kind of deal, where it will be stories of that world, but not maybe different places in that world, different countries even. I could see something like that instead of them going full, like,
Culinary.
oh, this is the story we're going to be telling with these people for already, but not their story. I don't see that happening.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
can see that.
I could definitely see that once they finish this season, which we don't really know where they're going to end. the second story that is Last of Us Part 2. Once they finish that, I could definitely see them going into like a factions route, you know, like one guy who's been a part of the Fireflies and he's doing a mission or whatever.
That'd be fine. I think if they add to it, like, you don't need to involve, like, you don't need to touch the characters that you've already put in.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do it, like, oh, it's just some random like Firefly guy or a random like character, like you can
Or even-
throw in, like,
Or
like
no, go ahead.
no, it's like you just don't need to like throw in like, oh, let's see, like here's what Joel was doing like this time. Like you don't need to do it. It's fine as it is. Like you would add like another character and be like, here's what this guy was doing out in this city, like this time. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah, even Joel's brother that they could do a season on. Like it's been 20 years of him just hanging around. What the
Actually,
fuck
I
is
would
he doing?
watch it. That would be that'd be
Yeah,
great.
which would be great. My last question of the night, and then we'll open it up to anybody else who has questions they want to ask. With this being such a success, do we have hope for any of the other Sony TV shows in production? And I'm specifically talking about God of War at Amazon. Do we
No.
expect it to be good?
Oh man,
And so
I'm
That
kidding.
scares me.
that I feel like depends on a lot of casting,
Okay.
especially God of War.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I mean, if HBO did this one well enough, and like if someone from I feel like Santa Monica's pretty like more involved, or like whoever helms it like actually cares and like wants to do a good job adapting it,
Mhm.
like I think you could do God of War pretty well. But like, I mean I don't know. I thought that about other things and it didn't go well. So what do I know?
So, the thing that with it is, Amazon puts out about one good show a year, but that show is usually pretty good.
No, they've already put
No.
out the one this year, right?
Yeah.
Fox
Whatever
Machina?
this year.
Oh. Damn,
Yeah.
that's pretty early for you to say that, Lane.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Fox
that.
Machina's good.
We got Invincible coming in the later half of
Oh,
2023.
dude. Oh,
Yes.
okay. They're gonna have two good shows here.
Yeah.
We got The Boys probably coming in this summer.
Three good shows. Ruben, stop it! You're killing my.
One of those won't be good.
They're bringing back Lost at the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see.
I love you, Jeff Bezos. I'm kidding. He sucks.
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, he
Yes,
does.
does.
But my thing is, so they get one and two good shows, but there's another Sony one in production too that's coming out.
Oh, no.
That
What's
would be the Twisted Metal show.
Yes,
Oh.
which is happening at Peacock. Which
Yeah, which is going to be terrible. Oh, it's going to be
Yeah, yeah.
bad.
Burn it down to
absolutely-
the ground, guys.
Absolutely zero skin in that game, and I just want to see how bad that turns.
I really liked Twisted Metal back in the day on the PS2. I don't want to see this. Don't butcher Sweet Tooth like this.
I think what they have to learn from all this future failure, which inevitably is what it's going to be, is that you gotta. I understand like you're going where the money is, but I feel like you need to let Cory Barlog, the man who made God of War 2018.
So you could say practically raised Kratos.
There you go. He
Yeah.
practically raised Kratos, yes. He needs to have a discussion with whoever we're going to. And if it's an HBO executive, like, hey, we learned so much from The Last of Us that we just let Neil do his thing. And we want Corey to just let him do his thing. And if he needs our help, yeah, we'll help him out. But, like, we don't want to interfere with what could potentially be another Game of Thrones, another Last of Us, another thing that's not The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that they need to work on, and I'm worried that these next couple of shows are not going to be the ones that are doing it. You know.
Well,
Okay.
are they already in production on those? Do you know?
Well, if I remember
Twisted
correctly,
Metal is already getting made. Like, there's been
Yeah.
filming for that.
I think Twisted Metal is supposed to come out in May, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There's a
And then there's
the Gran Turismo movie that is also supposed to be coming out the first half of this year, which
I'm forgetting
Wow.
that's a thing. Why?
I
I
don't
have
know
all the
if that's-
games.
yeah.
Like
As a
you know,
sim racing fan, I can say I am not excited for this whatsoever.
Well, I
Isn't
think
it-
it's gonna be more of like, hey, I played the games when I was younger, and now I am.
And now I drive a fast
Yeah,
car.
exactly.
And it's all about family.
Exactly. Oh my God! Could you imagine if Vin Diesel pops up at the end of this movie?
Hey, Racer, I need you to come join with us about a guy.
Oh,
We're going
no.
to hell.
We're going to Back to the Future.
We've already been to
Oh,
space.
and he's just got the
I
DeLorean.
really just keep. Yeah,
my
really.
God,
Sorry,
Matt,
I have a whole
this is-
fan
Please,
theory.
please
You're
don't
make-
get him started, guys.
You're
please.
making a lot of money for potential people.
I
No,
hate like
all
how
I'm
I
saying
hate
is-
that I can see all of this actually.
exactly.
happening.
Here's the thing, all right? I'm gonna give you one little piece of evidence
I'm
here,
sorry,
okay?
guys.
Okay.
In Fast 9,
Uh-huh.
right?
Never saw it.
They showed us these flashbacks to the younger cast, so we
They-
already know what a young Vin Diesel looks like.
Doesn't it just look
So
like
when Vin
Diesel?
Diesel goes back in time and sees himself, we already know that because
Oh
it's
my-
he's like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been mean to my brother. Let's go fix it, and then he goes back in time.
Oh,
He was
that's
like-
that's the premise of him going back in time.
Sure.
I
mean, it's a
shouldn't have been
family.
mean to my
About
brother.
family.
I
I
Are
think
we
he-
gonna touch the Speed Force from the Flash and just be able to like travel through time and then in
I
their
think-
cars?
Dom is the Speed Force.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
He's the Flash, but instead of running, he just drives in a car.
Exactly.
I've been waiting
Yeah,
to talk about the Fast and Furious here for a while now.
I'm sorry, Ryan, but that's never gonna happen. You know, my hatred for Vin Diesel. You know.
No, I know. No, what I think they should do though for the God of War show, don't do 2018. Go all the way back.
Oh God.
Go
Oh
And they
no!
can-
Yes.
PS2 action movie.
Yes.
Make it like
Well, it's
like
a TV
shade-
show.
No, shade it like 300 and
Oh,
just make it
no.
I'm
terrible.
so for it.
See,
So,
Ryan,
last
this
season
is
is
how
what
you
you're saying.
this is how you get Dwayne the Rock Johnson to play Kratos.
And you know what
Yes!
happens when that happens. We know it's gonna be a shit show of a movie.
He gets canceled.
The hierarchy of war is about to change.
Oh
forever.
no, I don't know if I want that. The hierarchy of PlayStation is about to change because God of War is no longer going to be a good series.
Oh my god!
That's what it is.
Oh, we'll get another Kratos skin in Fortnite of Dwayne The Rock Johnson Kratos.
Oh my god.
That would make 3 The Rock skins that I would own in Fortnite.
I like that it was an insta buy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, come on. You gotta have the collection, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The Foundation, he's Black Adam.
Also, with all the Tom Hollands are for it.
Yeah, I've already got 4 Tom Hollands. I
Oh
mean,
my
you
god,
know.
could you imagine Tom Holland just being Atreus?
He's a trace.
Yeah.
We have Tom Holland. We have one Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
2 Zendayas. Got a real
Who's
collection
the
going.
second? Oh, it's Zendaya from Dune, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Best emote of them just doing that
Yeah,
weird
they're
walk
dead.
from YouTube. You know, best emote.
Looking for the sandworms.
Oh god.
But no, to get back to your actual question, I definitely think that if they're already in production, I think it's probably too late for them to see the quality of The Last of Us and that really
Right.
make a difference.
Right.
If they're
Well-
not in production, maybe some of them have some wiggle room. But it also depends on like, you know, HBO. I mean, obviously Warner Brothers has been through a lot of crap recently, but typically HBO was known for making quality content. Like that's what they wanted to make, right?
Yeah.
These other places, Peacock, Amazon, I think they're more, from what I've seen, they're definitely more on the side of we want IP just so we can make money off that more
Yeah.
than creating a quality piece of content.
To be f-
So that's where I'm at now. Of course, The Boys, Invincible, all that's good, but
Yes.
I think it's because they got good people in there.
That's
that
what I was
actually
gonna
give
say.
a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Amazon has the potential. I just don't know. Like everybody was obsessed with the Rings of Power before it came out.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody talk about that show.
You didn't hear everybody talking about that show for the weeks it was coming out.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I haven't
Like, you have
heard
to.
anybody talk about it now. You know,
Isn't
Like,
that just the way our culture is, where we stream something for 1 week, talk about it all over, and then we
shh,
stop?
Ryan, that's our whole business model. Shut up.
Oh, I'm for
Give
the
away the
business
trade
model.
secrets,
Don't
man.
give me the secret formula.
The secret formula, we gotta put it at
Ravioli, give me the formula.
exactly.
All right, giving it away.
I guess, but I didn't hear anybody say like, "Oh, it was good." I didn't hear like we were talking
loved it.
about personally. I know in our group we were talking about how the House of the Dragon was a success for us as Game of Thrones fans, but like I didn't hear anybody that was a Lord of the Rings fan say like that show was a success.
I mean, I thought it was cool.
Oh.
And the one guy, one of my really good friends, who was a very big, like, Tolkien guy, he thought it was really good.
So 2 people in Arizona thought it was cool. That's half
Yeah.
of the population in Arizona. Half
That's
of
the next
population.
Last of a spin-off story, I believe.
In Arizona.
Now, see, we won't have to worry about it because
Desert zombies.
there's only 4 of us, and we're split out
Yeah,
amongst the 4 corners of the state.
We're
exactly.
2 and
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. So like nobody's getting affected because we're not near the city.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know,
You guys don't eat.
we're out
flour.
in the desert.
You just eat sand out there. That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Yeah, that's
Just
what I had for lunch today.
Yeah. Was it good?
I had a cactus.
A cactus? Whoa.
Yeah.
He's out here
Sounds
being-
prickly.
Juice.
Yeah.
It's the crunchy.
It's see you think it's harder going in, but it's actually harder going out.
Oh God.
Yeah, but just think how good you would feel afterwards, though. You know what I mean?
Jesus
Completely
Christ.
cleaned out.
I was not expecting that, Lane.
You
just
remember
feel
those Last
you
of Us
feel the-
bugs?
you feel like a breeze.
Yeah, let's
I
get back
do.
to The Last of Us. How about that? I'm that's all I have for questions and yeah. Does anybody else
Good
have
question.
any questions? Do you want to just compare it back to the Walking Dead?
No, but I think Lost. There's really something there for Lost.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, so is anyone in The Last of Us gonna be like? Is anyone gonna have a terrible Southern accent? That's what I'm glad that Joel doesn't have. I don't need anyone being like, Ellie, Carl. Like I don't need any of that. Nobody crying on like the worst crying I've ever seen on television.
Yeah,
Just,
we
I
don't
need it.
have that fucking kid just like doing everything he shouldn't be doing. Like
Fucking good, man.
Nobody's wearing eye patches.
yeah,
Like
fucking Carl. God, I fucking hated that guy. I hated him so much.
Is the worst.
He was literally the worst character on television.
My favorite episode was the one that he died in.
Yeah.
He got left in the sewers.
Shit.
I wish
okay.
it had a director's cut so it would have lasted longer. You know what I mean? Listen, all right. Listen, we all know when you put a kid in a show, it's 9 times out of 10 it's garbage. All right. We all
Yeah.
remember Power Rangers Turbo, I'm sure. You know?
Unfortunately.
As someone who also enjoys Sentai, yes. I was there for that deep cut.
Okay.
But thank God Ellie's actually enjoyable character.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like she's
Yeah.
fantastic.
No, Ellie. That's something I really have to give credit to this show is the picking of actors. The casting in this is absolutely fantastic. I'm like, these are characters that already had so much to them, and these actors are giving so much to the character themselves. So to keep adding and it's making it a lot better.
Yeah,
I think
for
it's
sure.
fantastic with everyone they've picked so far. There's not been one acting choice where I'm like, huh, that's weird.
I mean,
Not-
I'm gonna be like, oh, originally I was like, man, Pedro Pascal and like what's her
Bella Ramsey.
I was like, oh, well, they're from Game of Thrones, and like Pedro Pascal's the Mandalorian. But I'm like, okay, well, like I wasn't like, oh, they're bad actors, so they'll be bad. But it was just, it's so different going from like, what Joel and Ellie look like, and
Yeah.
then like, I was like, oh man, this is gonna take getting used to. First episode, like, oh yeah, they're covered.
Perfect.
Like I was, my any doubts I had were like gone.
Yep. All right. I guess that's all we got for questions and content, I guess.
Good job, everybody.
How
You did
how good do we think episode 3 is gonna be?
I mean, personally, I'm hoping that we continue the flashbacks in the beginning of the episode. Well, not flashbacks. Again, we just see a cut of.
I feel like from like if you watched like the little like next week on
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems like there's going to be a little bit, at least somewhat of a flashback.
Yeah. So
I'm curious to see how Nick Offerman does next week. I mean, I know he's done a lot of stuff outside of it, but I really know him as
Parks and
Ron
Rec,
Swanson
yeah.
from Parks and Rec.
I like
Yeah.
obviously the character he plays is cool, but like I actually think I'm gonna like his portrayal better than maybe the guy in the game.
Oh wow!
we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I guess we'll do some final thoughts. Lane, are you expecting The Last of Us TV show, season 1 of the TV show,
Mm.
to end on a like everybody's happy with this ending, or are we just gonna go with Game of Thrones and like fuck? we butchered the ending?
I mean, all right, without saying any, like, without really spoiling things, because
I can take my headphones off if I need to.
Oh no, you're good. I don't want to spoil anything for you. Like you're good. I think it's gonna be. I don't want to say divisive because I don't think it was like the most like divisive ending, but
Mhm.
like I definitely think it's not gonna go where people think it's gonna go.
Yeah,
Like
I'm excited.
I know that going in, I'm like I'm really excited to see what you guys think about that ending because. Yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, you know, at this point it's gonna do this. Like, I don't want to say too much and give anything away, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm so excited for people to see that.
Okay. All right. Ryan,
Yeah.
are you
What's the
excited?
question?
Are do you think that it's going to be a good ending, or is it just going to shit the bed?
Uh, well, do I think it's gonna
Walking
end
Dead
like
style.
Lost? No, I don't think it's
Full
gonna end
loss
like
for
Lost.
First off,
Walking Dead or
Lost was a great ending. I don't know what you're talking about.
Best ending of all time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Really was something special there.
Yeah.
No, I think this show will be a divisive ending. I think that'll be really fun to watch. I am excited. And I'm very interested. I think next episode is gonna be the flashback is gonna be how we're gonna learn about Bill.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what Bill did during the apocalypse.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Matt and Maggie.
Maggie, do you want me to go first, or you want to go first? Is it gonna shit the bed, or is it gonna be okay?
Is it going to be Lost, or is it going to be The Walking Dead?
Boom.
That's the
There it
question.
is.
the both
gonna be
not
Lost.
good.
It's gonna
Which
be
means
Lost.
it's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorta.
Uh-oh.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
our marriage is in trouble, guys.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
uh,
I don't think it's going to shit the bed though.
I'm kind of with that line of thinking, especially with having Neil Druckmann. Is it Druckmann or Druckerman?
Druckmann.
Druckmann. Okay, gotcha. I definitely think him being involved that's gonna really help keep it on the straight and narrow. If they do decide to lean into spin-offs as opposed to just continuing the story, then I think 100% it'll end at least the way it's supposed to end. Whether or not people like it or not, that's whatever. That's interpretation. But of course, if they do extend it for whatever reason, then odds are we'll get a Game of Thrones situation. So as long as they're allowed to end it on their terms, I think it'll be good. And HBO is usually good about that. I know, like Watchmen, it only got one season.
Yeah.
Leftovers got to end when they wanted it to end.
3 seasons.
Now, of course, that's old HBO, not current HBO, where they're like, who watches Westworld anyway? You know?
I mean,
I'll
let's
just
be
get
honest.
that out there.
Who was keep on watching Westworld after they got out of the park? You know.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know, Jesse Pinkman, more like Jesse Lehman. Let's get him out of here. you know?
Oh
I don't know. I didn't watch Westworld either, guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right.
You saved
Listen,
yourself.
if it doesn't start
Listen.
with Gilmore and end with girls, I'm not watching
You've
it.
already watched the peak of television that is Lost, so you're good. You're good.
Exactly. I mean, we've watched Lost. We're working our way through Beast Wars in Smallville. Like, what more do people want from me? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Get out of here.
yeah.
Now, Beast Wars is something special.
Hey, just so everybody knows, there's this guy on YouTube. It's not me. I promise. I don't know how it's not. there's this guy. He uploaded all of Beast Wars, Beast Machines, and Reboot, upscaled to 4K. So
Oh, those must
Oh
look
my God.
crunchy. That animation wasn't meant to look that good ever.
I mean, and I'll be honest, it doesn't. But I mean, at least I didn't have to get my DVDs out. You know what I mean?
That's
so there you go.
All right.
fair.
Well,
Another format to watch that on CRT.
It's a good point.
with that being said, Matt and Maggie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
It was a
Where,
blast.
where could people find you if they wanted to see more of Hopefully Awesome?
Well, we're usually at Sam's Club on Saturdays. Work
I'm more of a
at
Costco guy.
well, you know, we don't have Costco near us, so the heart wants what it wants, you know.
I got
No. YouTube.com/hopefully awesome. You can head over there to check out our three main shows we do every week. We've got the Hopefully Awesome Show, our weekly nerdy podcast where we recap all of the recent week's awesomeness in nerd culture. And then we've got Going Back to Smallville, which we're almost through season 2. We just watched the Christopher Reeve episode, so that's really good. And we just kicked off, like 3 weeks ago, we kicked off Going Back to Beast Wars in honor of the Rise of the Beast coming out. Listen, our trailer reaction to Beast Wars, or Rise of the Beast, was like our highest watched video.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
Maggie, we have to cash in on this somehow. You know? What can we put
There's
together
too
for,
much
like,
here.
5 months,
We're
you know?
leaving too much on the table if we don't.
Exactly, you know? We got
Oh,
50
boy.
views, Maggie. Come on. But
The
no, so
audience
we
wants
got
what
those.
it wants.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, that is us.
Okay, all right, cool. Lane, where can people find you?
Any type of social media you can think of, probably, and Link_394.
All right, Ryan, where can people find you?
People can find me at RyanDeline3055 on Twitter for wherever and whatever I'm doing in this wild world of the internet.
Okay, awesome. And you can find me here tomorrow, kicking ass and taking names in our final. I was gonna say Final Fantasy draft.
He's
In
all
our
out of bubble.
fantasy draft.
This man had high hopes for Forspoken.
Listen,
I would not trust his vote.
really, Ryan. All I'm saying is who got second place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
matter.
That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
but if Forspoken came out, I would have beat you.
You would have beaten me, but the fact
Yeah.
of the matter is, Shuhei Yoshida was like, "No, we're canceling this game, and we're actually gonna push it back. We're actually gonna push it back."
That's last
and-
year.
Yeah, 2023, the year Ryan wins us all.
I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. But with that being said, thank you again, Matt and Maggie, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right. Until the next episode of The Walking Dead. Oh my God, I just said it.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Till the next
I don't know
episode.
if we can upload this.
Lost.
Until the next episode of The Last of Us. This has been Ruben. That's been Ryan. That's been Lane. That's been Matt and Maggie. And you have just been redeemed? I guess? Found?
You've
Cured?
been found.
There you go. You've been cured.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go. There you go.